Hey, and it's time for a quickie review that is, with Duke Gonzo.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, this is Dr. Gonzo, aka Tim Worth, aka Tim in the Morning, the Gringo Slant. I am not one of when I put on this hat, it was kind of because it kind of goes with the color of my film threat shirt. This is a really cool one. You can buy this stuff, of course, at on Film Threat's merch store. I like the Flash Gordon one myself. Um, so I look like one of those guys. Who are those? The Guardians or something like that in New York City. I am not one of those, even though I am a martial artist. Hey, I got a real quick little some gear talk that I found at Walmart, and it's really quick, and it's really cheap, and it's a way to add some bells and whistles to your system. Okay, all that babbling aside, want to give a couple shout outs, of course, to my friend and brother, Jung Dai, Chris Gore. He's on the mend. Chris had a little mini stroke in Vegas. Chris is tough, and his hair, I'm sure, still looks great anyway. And he's on the mend. And meanwhile, great guys like Alan Ing. Alan is wonderful. He's doing a great job hosting, and his co-host or Dante, who of course is great. Danica, sexy Danica. She's just a amazing amount of knowledge and very beautiful. It's not shouldn't hurt the eyes at all. And Paulie the Latino Slan, all kind of guests in there. So check out filmthreat.com. Of course, today is Friday, so don't forget to check out Friday Night Tights. Friday Night Tights is the way I discovered that Chris Gore was back. So I owe gear, and I was able to tell him some stuff at the meetup. He was at the Film Threat meetup, and then I went to Gary's meetup the next day at the Millennium Fandom in Vegas. Bad stuff happened there. Film Threat got ripped off, and Chris had a mini stroke. But Disparu was there with the F&T crowd. Jeremy, Ryan Kinnell was a hoot. Oh, man. That guy's got to get a residency in Vegas, man. He was singing songs and just having a blast. Of course, Quarter Black Garrett, the beautiful X-Ray Girl. Now, I'm not a big producer like Chris has Glenn, who's a buddy of mine on Twitter. I love Glenn, so I'm going to give him a stick spin or a brush spin because I always do that for him. They have great producers. Of course, Gary is surrounded by, Pierre Chan and X-Ray Girl, Quarter Black Garrett, just top staff. Me, I'm on my own, and that's okay because I don't monetize. My channel is mainly to give people laughs and stuff. So I wanted to show you something I found at Walmart that may help you out. It has it runs around $29, $39. Now, I don't have my usual Audio Technica mic up because this thing doesn't take USB mics. This gear I'm going to show you, it takes only dynamic mics. So I pulled out an old SM58. Man, you can find SM58s are the workhorse of rock and roll. I mean, they are great vocal mic. Got to kind of eat them, So I kind of rigged a pop filter over it and stuff like that. But I got this on eBay for $35 a couple of years ago, so you can get them cheap. Anyway, it has a quarter inch pin on the back of this Vivitar. Let me show you a picture of this right now of what we're talking about, so I can show you. Okay, so here's the Vivitar. It's called a Vivitar. It's a little audio workstation. I'm just going to demonstrate the things for you. You need a dynamic mic, like I said, because it has a quarter-inch pin on the back. That's the plug-in for it. It has two condenser mics that you can plug in the back. Of course, plug-in for the headphones. The one thing I don't like is this knob on the left-hand side. This knob is a volume knob, but like I'm turning it right now, and it really doesn't. It gets the volume up a little bit, but it just keeps turning. So you're a little limited on that, on what you get. It has a high, mid, low effects and reverb. You want to put a lot of effects and a lot of verb on your voice, you can do that. I like to roll that off, not have too much verb on there. Now let me go through the buttons. And Gary from Nerdrotics. And one thing I want to say about Gary, dude, at the meetups, he treats you like you're the only person in that room. His people skills are great. And to watch him and Melissa work together as a team was really inspiring. You can see why they got 1 million viewers, because they're good with people. They're good at taking care of business, and I love them. So I don't monetize. So please donate and buy the merch of Film Threat, Disparu, of course, Nerdrotics. Paulie at Latino Slant has some great shirts. Paul Chato has the best shirts around. I'm going to buy a purple one pretty soon. So buy their merch. Buy their merch. And give your money to them. I don't monetize. I got 1 million views now, not a million. I've only had a little over 800 subscribers, but 1 million views. And I'm not going to monetize because I have a lot of vintage Disney up there. And as long as I don't collect money on that, I'm allowed to have that up there for educational purposes. That's what I worked out with Disney, including my thing, A Song of the South. So enough about my channel. Sorry, I'm 67 years old, so I kind of go off on bunny trails. Excuse that. Now back to the Vivitar. As I was getting into it before I went up on the bunny trail, Gary from Nerdrotic has a lot of great effects, and I'm sure he's got a more expensive unit. So there's one button where you can program your own custom effects, fart noises or whatever. Let me go through the various buttons. Here's the horn button. Buzzer button. Record scratch. Crickets. Car horn. Now on these buttons, you got to light touch them. If you press them too hard, it won't play. Here's sad trombone. This unit was only $30, 32 with tax, so it was worth it just for these effects. Here's another one. Here's clapping. And who likes to get the clap anyway? Applause. Laughter. Now, I'm going to use this for my radio station because it has a voiceover button. So when I'm introing a song, I can talk over the song. Now, here's to add make your voice lower.
Higher, so you can sound like a chipmunk. What the?
Here's lower. Little monster voice. So anyway.
That's the little Vivitar audio interface. It's only $30. Remember, you need a dynamic mic. And it's not an XLR plug-in, but you can an XLR to quarter-inch pin. Those adapters are, you can get those on Amazon for $7-8 for 2 or 3 of them. So anyway, it's kind of a cool little effect, a little thing to add a little spice for not too much money. There's some other buttons. You can add music in there. You can Bluetooth. It comes with a cable that go audio C to USB directly to your computer. That works on Apple. The one thing I want to caution you and let you know about this, you can use these on Samsung phones, but not iPhones. Now I'm using an Air Mac. I like Mac. Some people hate it. Some people love PC. I'm a Mac guy because I do some film editing on the side too, and I like using Final Cut. So that's kind of it. It will not take iPhones, and you have to have a dynamic mic, or it has 2 condenser mic outlets. So this is Dr. Gonzo, aka Tim Worth, aka Tim in the Morning. GonzoRadioPiqua.com and Dr. Gonzo 57 on the internet. Now let me show you something too. When you I'm using this with StreamYard right now, and let me show you a picture of what you will see. So you can connect StreamYard through this. It shows this Vivitar icon. Hook that in through your audio. Okay, very very simple, very easy. Trust me, if a blonde drummer can understand that, I know you can. So I want to say thanks for listening. Subscribe to my channel. Please like and subscribe. And I don't monetize, so send your money to Film Threat, Nerdrotics, Disparu, all those other great channels out there, and have fun. We're crying out loud. Let's have fun. The world's depressing, so if you're doing this on the side, want to add little bells and whistles for $30, well, as Chris Gore would say, here you go. See you later.
Hail to the king, baby.
What the hell are you two doing? That's called rocking out. You wouldn't understand, Dad. You're not with it. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
I write about a lot of things. You might have heard or read my name somewhere. I write books. I write things that get out and people read. I'll read your name.